trust. So push your 48-hour fast this weekend. Now, Identity Fridays. What are Identity Fridays? I'll introduce them to you and then I say hi to individuals as they walk in. We said that children are born from the nature of evil. Okay? Children are born from the nature of evil. And then we realized at some point the emotional side of every one of us is actually the nature of the woman in us. Women are the ones who are supposed to have these emotions because the feminine nature allows a woman to be emotional. The masculine nature allows a man to actually humble the emotions that are coming with women. But if the men become weaker, what happens is women end up lashing these emotions to the children, and these children become super emotional and they adapt false identities from both the parents. And I told you that this is an innocent move. Women don't even know they are doing this. They are doing it for the sake of attention because all of us are born from a foreign state. When that happens, these children get messed up. They end up having multiple identities. They don't have their own identities. But every child is born innocent and with an identity. So when you suppress this identity by imparting your false identities in these children, you end up messing them up. So our role here on these Identity Fridays is to actually rebuild or restore the family unit by rebuilding the man. Once you rebuild the man, women have no problem with aligning, and that's the reason why we are here. I have realized from the 3 episodes that we did on Identity Fridays, most people are getting confused. People are thinking, I hate women. I don't. People are thinking, oh, I am a misogynist. I am not. I'm a guy who is trying to actually make women's life easier by trying to rebuild the man. Because I know love and the order of God. Love flows from God to the man, man to the woman, woman to the children. So without the man, children are suffering. Without the father, children don't know love. Women don't know love. They'll end up misbehaving. So when you fix the man, because the problem in this generation is excess of weak and bitter males that are so emotional and they harbor the nature of a woman inside of them. And through that, women start becoming angry at them, they resent them, and they become masculine. They become just like them because whoever you resent, you become. And when women hate these men and they cannot portray this anger to these men, they project this anger to the children. And once that happens, it is the role of the fathers to actually protect their children from the emotions and the anger that is coming from the mothers. And that's how you raise children. But you cannot do that if you're an emotional man, if you have the nature of the woman. So you must overcome that nature by actually forgiving your mother and then forgiving your father for being weak and allowing this mess to happen. Once you do that, you reconnect with your biological father. And after that, everything just opens up. Everything opens up to you and your identity is there. So we're not saying you reconnect with your father to pick his behaviors. No, we are saying you reconnect with the biological father so that you get to reconnect with this identity and soul. And through that, you get an identity and everything flows from God through that identity to you. You get a revelation. Okay? And then somebody asked me, and I would like you to answer this in the comment section. What do you think is the difference between an atheist and a Christian? An amazing question for the night. What do you think is the difference between an atheist and a Christian? You've seen those people saying, I am an atheist, and then Christian looking at them saying, oh, you can't be an atheist. How can you not know God? What is the difference between atheists and Christians? Amazing. So thank you so much for joining in. Allow me to say hi to some individuals. Kama Kawa, Kama Desturi. I'll say hi to individuals on TikTok, and then I move to YouTube. Good. I see Mickey has joined in. Thank you so much, Mickey, for coming through. Kemi Night, I see you. And as you join in, do not forget to remind us where you're joining us from, and let us shout out to people from your area, because that's how we build a team. Are you talking to us from Nyandu? Are you somewhere in Kuala Lumpur? Where are you? Are you in River Jordan, trying to gnaw your face as you cross the Jordan River because you just made mistakes? So you're trying to die from the nature of evil and resurrect in the nature of good? Are you? Somebody from Kisumu Manyata locked in. That is 𝐾𝐍𝐓. I see you, 𝐾𝐍𝐓. I see Shiko from Utawala. Saula from Finland. I see you. United States, Prodigy Pros. Girlchild is from Thika, Section 9. I see you. I see someone from Oman. That is Metrianidi. Metrian Ayidi. Hey, okay. Kelly Raf, I see you. Someone doesn't know the biblical father. Doc, what of someone who doesn't know the biological father? We'll get to that. That is the essence of this conversation. So if you're on TikTok and you like to actually roll this conversation, welcome on board. Start requesting so that this becomes interesting. Watching from Nairobi, Donholm. Donholm, where in Donholm, bro? This is Katrina. Obor from South Sea. Winnie from Meru, I see you. Winnie, I see watching from Mbale Vihiga. Vorandi Merlins. Ovegara. Ovemram. I see Wellness Center, Mind Life Wellness Center from Juja. Where in Juja? I see Sonny Bik. I see you. Sally from Nairobi Dagoretti. Welcome on board. I see Captain Apudo from Uriri. From USA, D is in the building. Hope is in from Juja. Kitengela is locked in. From Kerry Rafto to Smart Outfits. Jen from Githurai. I went to Githurai market. It was amazing. Groundnuts in Githurai, super dope. Frisia from Ngatarongai. I see you. From Tarakaniti, this is Muriuki. I see you. Captain Apudo again from Uriri. From Kawosh, Roy Sambu. Watu wa Roy Sambu. Watu wa Camp David, we say hello. Welbet is representing you. Kozi Baringo County, here we say, how are you? Karash from Kakamega. Kariana Karash. Wapi Kakamega? Is it Huizero? Are you from Huizero? Are you from Hayega, where Changa is being sold and Changa makes people... Hey, Changa from Hayega, my people. Changa from Hayega. Where? Ask me. The same to the bang from Luanda. People from Luanda. No wonder Luanda is full of crazy people. On the Rwanda. Mulio. Ting Neema from Nakuru. I see you, Neema. Watching from Mogadishu, Somalia. Martin, welcome on board. To Lababol. Shanbol. Shanbol Konto. Amazing. Jesse, I see you. Recommended. I see who else. Healthy Next. I see somebody from Feather Noble. Yeah, a lot of you are joining. Somebody from Belgium. I see you. I see somebody from South Africa. Masetiba Mwagi. From Kampala, Uganda. That's Healthy Next. BBG, I see you. On YouTube, as always. Let me say hi to my individuals on YouTube. Just a minute. I see Bube Agnes. I'm in. Amazing. Seske, I see you. Rose Mbevi, I see you. I see Lilian Ayako. Teresa Fries. I see Nzembi Queen. Mata Makori. Mugu Njoroge. Joe Oboge from United Kisumu, the UK. I see Priki. I see Kekeli Kafui. J Opande. Welcome on board. Chepkorir, Lynette. Catherine Wangari. Elizabeth Wambui. Halima Hussein. Dorcas. Esther Ayuku, Catherine Wangari. I see who else is here. Bernardo Duor. Steve Ogina is in the building from South B. Oh, Kariobangi South is here. Bernardo Duor, I see you, bro. I see Kefa Ogwell following from Ahero River, Nyando. I see somebody from Cameroon. Ethel. Is it Ethel Van Yui? Well, amazing. Javan Leo, tuned in from Western Vihiga, Luanda. Atheist is intellect. Unfortunately, or apparently, we have one of the lawyers leading the atheist community in Kenya. And of course, you will see a lot of identity problems because we are trying to rebuild the family unit by rebuilding the man. But you will see them talking about how you should hate marriage and all that. And I'll tell you this for free, an identity problem. When you get to this level, you see the same way we've gotten to a level where we can confidently ask our doctor questions. This is the same place we will get to very soon. That you will see a problem from so far and you will shun it. You will not hate it. You'll just discern it. Lovers of football, you've seen the umbrella people are all over. That at this moment in time, just writing on an armband that I love Jesus has become a crime. Did you see that? And now there's these rainbow colors everywhere on the football pitches and people are being conditioned for no good reason. Nowadays we have identity problems that people believe that me now, I can simply identify as a woman and I'm comfortable and you must pay the price by accepting me as a woman. You can imagine that. Hey, we are in defining terms. The West is in chaos. And those chaos are being thrown all over. So everybody in the world is having the same problems. And now, the life for tonight, of course, is identity. But I actually labeled it intentionally. Born of evil, similar problems, but different identities. Similar problems, but different identities. Oh, Solo Media is in the building, tuned in from Nairobi. I see you, bro. You saw that. So you guys saw those things. That now just identifying as a Christian is criminal. Just identifying as Muslim is criminal. Just because you don't accept or agree with who I am, that becomes a crime. Just because you have an opinion, it is a problem. And that is what we are going to talk about tonight. We are going to make sure that you people understand that this has nothing to do with football, has nothing to do with the umbrella. It's all about what is good and what is evil. Those two. Once you see life in that dimension, you're good to go, because life has no in between. You're either a good person or an evil person. And I will tell you this for free. Look at us, how we hate each other, and we divide ourselves according to who we support politically. According to who we support politically. How did we get there? That now you can hate me because of who I voted for. I mean, do I have to vote for somebody who you have voted for? That even families are breaking because, oh, you know what, the father is supporting this person and the mother is supporting this person. They're just the concluded US elections. We even divided ourselves. Oh, you know, I'm Team Trump and somebody is Team Kamala. Who cares? Whatever is happening outside you is none of your business. Your world is inside of you. So we've divided ourselves, and now people hate each other. Oh, you know, I'm Team Ruto. Oh, you know what, I'm Team Raila, and all that. So we hate others because of who we affiliate with or who we vote for. How did we get there? And then look at us now complaining because of who we voted for, who is actually a representation of who we are as a people. So I look at what is going on, and I'm like, why are we complaining? Are we not the same people who voted early in the morning because we voted for an emotional guy because he cried in church? Now we are complaining, but we've done that before. We've complained before, right? It's not like this is the first president we are complaining. We complained about Uhuru. We complained about Kibaki and post-election violence. It looked like it was the worst thing to ever happen to Kenya. Now economy is the problem. But we are the same individuals, aren't we? Who are making the decisions to vote. We are the same people who fought in 2007. The same people who united to kick out the others in 2002. Do you remember that song in 2002? The one that was kicking out Moi and this regime, end of an era. Do you remember that? We are the same people. So whoever we have elected there is a representation of who we are. But look at us trying to judge and thinking and creating opinions that he is the worst and we are the better people. Yet, he's just a sample of who we are. That tells you need to open up your head and see things from two different perspectives. One perspective is what is good and the other perspective is what is evil. You see what is evil, you discern it. You don't hate it, because now we've been built to become emotional and we hate each other because of who supports who. We are so emotional, and guess what? Even if we elect new people, we'll still do the same mistakes because we have not fixed what is going on inside us. So we're just bringing out somebody who is us. And then most of us, all human beings, all of us have the same problems all over the world. Human beings have the same problems. They think that their problem is different or unique because they rely on their thoughts and imaginations. And that's how the devil takes over, because the devil knows that your weakest point is your imagination and your mind. So he controls you through your mind. And I told you this, most of us pray from our minds. We don't even pray from our hearts. So whoever we are praying to, as we do that prayer from our minds, we are praying to our father devil. He controls our minds. He do and what not to do. He tells us what is good and what is evil. He excites us to depress us. He uses our imagination to send us into the future and the past that we don't have. And I'll be here constantly reminding you that you are not responsible for whatever has happened to you in your past, whether good or evil. And number two, you are not your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Human beings are the only creatures that can actually think about their own thoughts. What does that tell you? Imagine you can separate yourself from your thoughts and then think about the same thoughts. So how did you become your thoughts? And then somebody lied to you, you are a product of your thinking. Intellect is the nature of evil. The devil controls you through your own thoughts and imaginations. So we have the same problems, same basis, but we constantly think that our problems are unique. They are not like other people. Because the devil is the one who is controlling our thoughts, lying to us through our own imagination and thoughts, and we think, I am depressed, I am unhappy, I am inadequate, I am lonely, I am afraid. so full of fear. I am fearful. I am unloved. I need to be loved by somebody. I am possessed. People have sent the devil to me to just possess me. The evil spirit are possessing me. I am unwanted. I am unhappy. These are just different names that are given to the same spirit, the spirit of evil. Oh, you are just an evil person. And guess what? All human beings have hate in their hearts. Until they die of the spirit of evil and resurrecting the spirit of good by reconnecting with their biological fathers, we will always have hate. You ask yourself, you're calling yourself a Muslim, you're calling yourself a Christian, you're calling yourself an atheist, you're calling yourself a Buddhist or whatever, you're calling yourself a monk, but you still have anger, you're still inadequate, you're still unhappy, you still feel lonely. How is that even possible? How is your God so bad that he can actually make you feel lonely, that you have to find somebody else to complete you? That way. If that is your God, I don't want that God. No. If that is your God, I don't want that God. I have a God in me. I am a Christian and I am lonely. I feel inadequate. I'm afraid. Look at pastors and look at religious people. They are afraid of dying, yet they are preaching the gospel of prosperity. They are telling you that there's a better world than here. And it's somewhere up here. Apparently. So there's a heaven up here that is a better one than the one that you're living in right now. But ask them or tell them that there's a threat here, that Al-Shabaab are here. The same people will be the first ones to run away. If that is true, if you're my spiritual leader, you're teaching me about heavens, and you're afraid to die, how is that even making sense to me? I thought you are the most righteous. That's why you even have an opinion that you're better and you have to teach me who looks not better than you. So you've even created an opinion and you're judging me. I am not as good as you are, and that's why you take a position to teach me about God. God does not speak to people. God reveals things to people through their own identities. So then how did God speak to you to tell me something about me? Yet he can speak to me when I have an identity. Why don't you teach me on how to get an identity? Is that not easier so that God can reveal these things to me directly? Why would God need a broker? And then you will realize most of the things that you know about God are just ideas in your head. You've created ideas in your head because you've been taught about God. You don't know about God. You've been taught about him, but you don't know him. You have never had an encounter. But you'll tell us, oh, nimeona mkono wa Bwana. I have seen the hand of God in my life. So now God is a human being. The moment you start thinking that you know God, that's the moment you have no idea of who God is. You just have an idea of who God is. So you have created an illusion of who God is. And that is an illusion that suits who you are. You will create things that will favor you because you want to sin, and your sin will be special. So you've created God in your own image. Just the same way women create children in their own image. And now they don't like that image. They see their children becoming drunkards and alcoholics and they're going to jail. They don't like, but that is who we are. So we are here preaching about God, and we are here, all of us, telling us, oh, you know what, stretch your hand and touch your screen. It is now the month of December and January shall be a good month. Imagine somebody telling you January shall be a good month, yet he doesn't even know what will happen tomorrow. He's selling you hope. Is that not what they do on TikTok? Sometimes somebody wakes up at 5 in the morning to preach his gospel to you, and then he claims this is the gospel of God. But he's preaching you from the nature of intellect, from his mind, not from his heart, because the scripture and the light of God is in our hearts. Our minds' thoughts are evil all the time, unless they are practical and functional thoughts. Thoughts are evil because they are what people tell us, they are what people teach us. They are put in our heads by somebody. Oh, once you just learn that, once you see the nature of evil, and you see most people are just evil, and I was just telling you that all of us have anger inside us. And then we are just looking for a place to put this anger. We are constantly looking for a place to lash this anger, to project it to. Oh, apparently somebody makes you angry. How can somebody make you angry when you have control over your own anger? Your own emotions. It's you who has control over the emotions. But look at you thinking that the people from outside, oh, your husband, your children, your workmates have made you angry. How can somebody control your emotions? You are the one who controls your own emotions. So then how do you tell people that you're the ones who are making me angry. You just have anger. These people from outside just provided a chance for you to exercise your anger. That guy on your traffic jam that hooted at you just right besides you and made you overreact. He is not responsible for your overreaction. It's you who has anger. He just gave you a chance to exercise your anger. Guess who was talking to your head? When he just hooted, the devil is the one who told you, please show him or her that you are who you are. Shout at him. And then you shout at him, and a minute down the line, the devil comes and tells you, you should have resisted that. Why did you shout? Can't you control your own emotions? And it's the same person who told you shout. Through your own thoughts and imagination. Do you see how he makes it? So do not allow that guy to be your father. And that's how we overcome him. When you forgive, you overcome him. You overcome his nature. So we are born with anger. Because we are born from sin. We are born from the evil. Our fathers and our parents did not know God. They knew about God, but they did not know God. So we were born from that evil nature. And then we became evil. Now remember, children are born clean. Children are born innocent. But these children are taught anger, they are taught emotions, they are taught politics, they are taught things, school and all that teaches them. So schools, churches and religion, society, all these false identities. Oh, I have morals. Morals are coming from societal values. So morals are basically the society trying to impart, condition you into a way that they want you to live. You call them morals. Now you give them a good name. Oh, you know morals. God did not give human beings morals. God gave you commandments. He did not give you morals. At least tell me, where did you get the morals from? From society? So you're just becoming the nature of evil. That is intellect. Somebody taught you morals. But commandments, why do you have now to bring in morals and then tell us, oh, you know what? Societal morals and values. Aye. Hakuna. Good. So if you're on TikTok, you can start requesting. We need to roll this conversation. Why do you have anger? Why do you feel inadequate? Why do you chase thrills thinking that alcohol is coming in to make you complete? Why are you depressed? We are here for that. We are here to fix your depression by telling you and showing you how confused you are. You are not depressed. You just lack an identity. No, you are not. You are not lonely. You just harbor. You have allowed the spirit of your father, the devil, to live in you and build a home in you. So it's time for us to overcome. Why do you think that as children age, by the way, somebody told me, and these stories, I get them all over. Where? At mimi know somebody told me. Let me use the word has it, that the worst thing that can happen to a child, now this will provoke you, but if you get provoked, fix yourself. That the worst thing that can actually happen to a child is children having a perfect relationship with their biological fathers. Hello? The worst thing that can happen to a child is a child having a perfect relationship with their biological fathers. Let me explain before you come here throwing stones at Stephen. So, when you marry as a man, when you marry a woman, men, don't tell me I am married. Okay? When you marry a woman joins your empire. Now, women have this inborn thing to control stuff. They are always targeting to control something. So, the more you retain your control over what she wants to control, the better that relationship. When you lose that control, the worst that relationship. She starts to resent you, she hates you, she's now looking for another thrill. So, hold back. Get her into that what we call anxiety competition. She's constantly thinking, what are you doing? Where are you? And all that. That settles her. I'm telling you the truth. If your woman predicts you completely, a man, you're done. If a woman predicts you completely, you're done. She's looking for a thrill all the time. That's why they date up ones. They're looking for every woman, even married women. It's called hypergamy. So the worst thing that can happen to children is these children having a perfect relationship with their biological fathers. Why? When a man marries, all the attention is on his wife. Oh, women love attention. They will lie to you. Oh, I've dressed this for myself. It's not true. It's all about attention. So what happens is, when you're giving her attention all through because you're newly married, She feels good about it and she loves that because she has control. Now wait until you get a child, the firstborn. Because anytime you come home before you get children, you're asking her, hey baby, how are you? How was your day? Did you have fun today? Yeah, did you sleep? Did you rest well? Are you feeling good? Are you feeling beautiful? Here is a flower for you. Here is chocolate. Here is a pair of shoes. Yeah? Somebody told me if you buy a woman a car, you'd rather save that million and buy her a different present every day. If you buy her a car, she will get in trouble with that car, or she'll get a tire burst, or she'll park in a hotel, and then another woman parks a better car than that one besides her. And now that is your car now as a man. That is not her car. That is your car. She gets a tire burst and she calls you and says, babe, hii gari yako imepata puncture. Now it's not her car, it's your car. But if you buy her something different every day, you excite her. You excite her mind all the time. You play with her emotions a little bit. Anyway, back to the story. So you're giving her all this attention and she enjoys it. She loves it. Now you bring in a new child, and now guess what? You come back home and all attention is to the child. You're asking her, how is the child? Did the child eat? Has she or he slept? Has he rested? Did he play today? Did you check on, hey? And you bring presents now for the child. The child comes and opens the gate. You give her some lollipop. You give her some gift and all that. And the woman sees that and realizes that attention is actually shifting from him to the child. And I want you to look at it this way. There's issues that happen with girls and their fathers. That tight relationship between girls and their fathers brings a lot of problems. The same thing that boys and their mothers. Oh, that's the weirdest combination. Boys and their mothers. Now all these boys who have been raised by close relationship with their mothers, as they speak to you, they're sounding like women. Identity issues. Anyway, so this woman sees the attention shifting from her and is taken away by the child. She does not appreciate that. She doesn't like that. So the more concentrated the relationship between the father and the child, the more the woman becomes angry and upset. Now guess what? For her to win back this attention from the father, she will try to turn the children against the fathers, their biological fathers. She will tell them things like, you know what, baba yenu ananitesa sana hata niongeleshangi siku hizi and all that. Oh, you know, I've been struggling with you and your father is just there chasing other women and all that. She tries to turn the children against their biological fathers so that she can actually get back their attention. Now understand, she's not doing this intentionally. She doesn't even know she's doing it. She's just protecting her interest and her emotions. And as she does that, she's turning these children against their father. And remember, biological fathers are earthly representation of God to the children. They are the creators on earth. They carry the seed. So when the woman turns them against their fathers, she's turning the children against their biological father. That is turning them against their earthly representation of God. Because biological fathers are the sons of God. They are the brothers to Christ. So when you turn them against their biological fathers, you turn them against their God. Now these children get astray from God. They start having their multiple identities because they don't also like being turned away from their biological fathers. And this is actually proven by children who have been raised by mothers. And on that note, there's nothing like a single mother. You're not a single mother. You did not make yourself pregnant. Somebody made you pregnant. So you're not a single mother. You're a mother. Accept that identity. Stop running away from it and labeling it a different name, a single mother, because you want some attention. Do not do that. That is the Western way of actually conditioning you. So you're a mother. You're not a single mother. You're a mother. You can say, I am raising a child on my own. At least that makes sense to us. So as you do that, you see these children who are raised by mothers. What happens is they become so emotional because the nature of a woman is emotions. So they adapt these false identities. But inside them, they are always longing for their biological fathers. Every child, even if they find the best stepdads, they will be always longing from they will always have a void for their biological fathers. And until they find him and reconnect with him, it is not going to be peaceful. They are going to suffer. They are going to suffer. So, women, when they turn these children against their biological fathers, these children do not like it because they start having that void. So they start resenting their mothers. And as they resent their mothers, whatever you resent, you become. They become just like their mothers. They become emotional, they become angry, they become chaotic. And again, as they do that, they portray that energy. So as they portray that energy, as they have conversation with other people, they attract people who have the same energies. And that's why that name that you call single mothers, most cases, 90% of single mothers will always raise single mothers. Do you know why? Because the energy that they portray is actually attracting the same energy that they are running away from. They end up attracting men who cannot provide for them, men who are chasing thrills like ejaculation. They ejaculate in them and make them pregnant, and they disappear from responsibility. And now these women start hating men because of their own choices. So you attract who you are, and then you start hating other people because of who you attracted, and that is who you really were. So instead of fixing yourself so that you can actually attract positive energy that rolls with you, you would rather start complaining. You're actually trying to mask the evil nature in you and allow it to rebuild itself. As you complain, you hand over the power. And as you complain, because somebody will ask you what happened to your previous relationship, you will want to paint the worst image of your previous relationship. And guess what? This man is thinking, if this woman is actually painting the ex or the one who made her pregnant, because the best thing that a man can ever do to a woman is to actually elevate her from a girl to a woman, or from a woman to a mother. So imagine you are that single mother, I'm putting that in quotes, and then you are on a date with a man and you're busy telling him how evil your ex-husband or your baby daddy, in quotes again, is. This man is thinking, this one is coming with a burden. If any case, she's busy looking for a stepfather to her child before finding a boyfriend. So my interests do not matter, because she's putting forth the interest of her and the child before my interest. Tell me a man who will take that. Tell me a man who will sit back and take your interest first, and then his comes last. Unless he's a bitter male who is still trying to find his mama, a woman who will provide, who will share bills. That is the only man who will sit back and listen to this nonsense. I'm telling you the truth. A man who has built himself, imagine a man who goes to the gym, a man who eats healthy, a man who fasts, a man who has a stable job and other investments, a man who has himself fixed. And then he's coming here with his A game. And instead of you paying attention, you actually give him your A game. So you want him to actually listen to you. Yet, you're the one who is joining his empire. Is that going to work? You're about to make the second mistake again. Why? Because this guy will simply paint the image of a guy who is better than your ex or your baby daddy. I want you to look keenly at the story of Jackie Matubia. You will understand what I'm talking about. So this guy will paint an exact image of the man who is totally the opposite of your baby daddy. Why is he doing that? He knows if he does that, he's going to win your legs. This guy will come with presents for your son and daughter. Oh, this guy will be the best stepdaddy before he commits. Wait until you open up those legs. And now he has power. He confirms. And then now he disappears. And now it is you, because now when a lady gives you her legs, sex is spiritual. When she gives you her legs, she has some form of attachment to the man. So now she feels like she's going to be lonely if this man leaves. Imagine this guy. He loved my children. Imagine this guy was so much of a provider. My children loved him. Imagine I cannot find another man like this. You're already feeling inadequate and empty. So you don't have an identity. You don't have an identity. And now as you portray that, another man is coming in. The third mistake. Do you see how we get to the 13th mistake? Do you see where we get to the 13th mistake? So you're constantly, actually in your head, and this is for ladies who have baby daddies, as you call them. In your head, you're looking for somebody who is a threshold, who is actually better than your baby daddy. Because you want to prove a point, because you don't have an identity. And I've told you multiple times, the worst thing that can actually happen, again, the second worst thing to happen to any child is you, who is raising a child as a mother. You bring in another man, and now you have to divide attention between your child and your son or your daughter. Oh, I don't know why ladies are so fast, who are so quick to want to move on. You just want somebody who will just clear the memories of your baby daddy. So that is you being very selfish, because this is you trying to kill your children, trying to actually force your children to get no attention and no love at all, because you will have to divide that attention and that love between the new man and your child. Your child will not like that. That's why most sons who are raised by mothers, they end up killing their stepfathers. So these children do not like that, and because they do not like that, they start to resent you and they become just like you. So you raise a son who is emotional and feminine. You raise a child with no identity because of your own mistakes. You do not have an identity. So if you're a single mother, find an identity first. When you get that identity, you will not feel lonely. You will not feel unhappy. You will not feel unsatisfied. You will not need somebody to make you adequate. You will not need somebody to come and step in, step further. Step in, step further. So just fix your identity. You will attract people who will take you for who you are with that identity. The same energy. But as you constantly complain, you're going to attract the same people who will mess you up even further. And they will get, as they go with a piece of you that will never come back. And you will resent them. And as you resent them, you will become just like them. You will be an evil person. So you will suffer. I wish you can understand this. Anyway. So you'll keep on blaming people. You know what? Dr. Lewis came and disappeared. He's so... But you know what? You just attracted who you are. The same concept as us electing leaders who are actually corrupt. And we are thinking, oh, you know what? Corruption is in the bigger offices, so they are the bad ones. But you're here bribing a police officer. Every single day on that jam, you're bribing a police officer. But you don't see that as corruption. You're seeing President looting billions as a corruption case. So you need that one to be attended to. That's why you're so happy joining other people who are miserable to just carry placards and waste time on the roads trying to think that you can fix the president. You can't. You must fix you so that when you elect people who have an identity, who know their roles. Not people who are trying to compensate. Not people who are trying to compete to become better than the ones who are there. So these are who we are. Those are just representation of who we are as a nation. We are just evil people. We have anger inside of us because we were born from broken families. We were born from sin. People who did not know God. They knew about God because they were taught through church, mosques and all that and temples. But they did not know God. They knew about God, but they did not know God. And this takes me back to the question. The difference between atheists and Christians or atheists and Muslims is the same. The difference is the same. These two people are so confused. All of them. The population of Christians is the same to atheists. Why? Because atheists are there looking at Christians thinking Christians are so stupid to believe in God. They are looking at Muslims thinking these guys are so stupid praying every time to somebody who is not even there. They are even thinking God is some person somewhere. So they are thinking these other people are stupid. And look at Christians looking at atheists thinking, oh, you guys don't know God. How are you telling us you don't know God? So you're all creating opinions and judging. Judging is a sin. So all of you are just sinners. You have the nature of evil. And then you just rebrand yourself. Oh, I am Muslim. Oh, I am Christian. Oh, I am atheist. You are the same. You don't have identities. There's no identity called Christianity. There's no identity called Islam. It's either good or evil. So you're just an evil person because you're judging. You're forming opinions. Aye. So again, you tell me, how are you a Christian and you're empty, you're lonely? I mean, your God is a lonely God. How are you a pastor and you're afraid of going to heaven? How are you a Muslim? You're fasting, you're praying, but you're still judging people. You still hate people because of religion. How is that? Who is this God of yours who tells you that you are a super person, you must hate other people because of their religion? How are you a Christian and you are lonely? You are possessed. You are angry. Imagine a Christian divorcing. How is it making sense? Right now, there's a story that is trending for these people who are celebrity couples, online couples. They now have to explain to us why they are divorcing. They want to show us, oh, you know what? Now I've seen one is telling us she's rebranding. I'm like, we saw that a long time ago. You rebranded a long time ago. So stop trying to tell us that now, oh, you're a good... Listen, by the way, put your relationships off the media. Social media and all that. Put your relationship. Imagine being a billionaire and you're so angry. You have problems. Even the rich cry. Even the rich cry. Yeah? Yeah? So how comes you are a super Christian, you're a super Muslim, you're a super atheist, but you still hate me because I chose Ruto over Raila, or I chose Raila over Ruto? How is that even making sense? Are you not just an evil person? Yeah. We hate each other because of religion. We hate each other because of politics. We hate each other because of tribes. And then we'd say, oh, I'm a Christian. Who Christian? In church, you're there. Oh, you know, Bwana asifiwe, nimeona mkono wa Bwana, napenda Yesu kama mwokozi wa maisha yangu. Kai. Anyway, penda Yesu kama mwokozi wa maisha yako. Penda Yesu. How can you love God without an identity? You don't even know how to love. You don't even appreciate the nature of God, that God above men, men above women, women above children, and love flows in that direction. So if there's no man, no love. Women are messed up, they're angry. Children are messed up, they don't have an identity. There must be a man. That's why we are restoring the family unit by rebuilding the man. Because we know through the man, there is love. Oh, these are conversations that we inject inside their heart. They would, please look at yourself praying through your own thoughts. You're there praying and asking God and demanding God for a car or a good life or that. You are just praying to the devil because you're praying from your thoughts. And thoughts are evil at all the times, except functional and practical thoughts. Every other thought that you're praying to God, that is an evil thought. It was put there by somebody. But look at you trying to tell us, oh, Shandara Kabwa Mozaya, you're praying in tongues. Whose tongues? You only have one tongue. Whose tongues are you praying in? Or through? So children are born innocent, but they inherit the nature of evil because broken families, anger in our parents. So they messed us up, and now we are messing other people. And then the society helps us to label this identity, this anger thing, this evil thing, as generational curse. It's a generational curse. We cannot do anything about it. It is in the genes, labeling all these false identities with super names. So all of us have the same problems, but different names and different identities. Oh, I am depressed. No, you're evil. I am lonely. No, you're evil. So until you die of that nature of evil, and you'll be willing to die of that nature of evil to resurrect the nature of good, you will never know peace. I'm telling you, you'll get money, you still suffer from other things. You'll be a billionaire, but you're still divorced. Why? Because there's no peace. Inside you, there's no perfect peace. You have ego. Yes. Thank you so much, Makandi. You have ego, and ego is the enemy. You know, I'm a billionaire, I can afford any woman that I want. But you are there with a pot belly and erectile dysfunction. So now you afford the woman that you can, but you cannot satisfy her sexually. That's an insecurity. You are insecure, spirit of evil. Because evil makes you feel inadequate and insecure. It makes you feel worried, makes you feel fearful and concerned. And you think you're so good. Oh, you know, I'm charitable. You're not charitable. You're evil. You're listening to your thoughts. Your father is in the devil. He's in your head. God is in your heart. The scripture is in your heart. So you don't need somebody to teach you this. You only need a revelation to get an identity, and God will reveal things through that identity. Is that hard? Now, on that note, allow me to advertise my platforms. One, I run a platform on YouTube called Health and Wellness Sport, an amazing YouTube channel. Health and Wellness Sport. Oh, you should be there. Just go there and press that subscription button and come back. Can't be generous. You can't be here. You can't like the live because you're getting emotional. Anger is destroying you. You do. I cannot like this live. Actually, let me just go. Some of you have left the live multiple times and came back because we don't sugarcoat things here. How many of you have heard me saying things and you hate me so much until you get to my next video and you're like, ah, yeah, okay, he has a point. How many fat people have hated me because I've told them to eat 8 eggs a day? And they tell me, oh, eggs will make me fat. But you've not been eating 8 eggs and you became fat. How? And then when I call you out for that, you're like, this doctor calls people fat. He's body shaming us. Now you unsubscribe. You think you unsubscribing is going to change my life? It's actually going to make your life even worse. People confess here. Yes, it's true. People confess here how they've been hating me all through until they realized, kumbe, if I do this for only 1 week, I'm losing 2 kgs. I'm losing 1 kg already. So I should do it. And then they become my followers and they become my supporters and they become the guys who actually spread this, the advocates of health. So again, these Identity Fridays, I did not start it because I wanted you to give me attention. No, I started it because I knew that all of us have the same problems. We just label it different things. And I appreciate that. You see some of them who don't have identities, they don't even have a name. 𝐷6FIC. What type of name is that? And she's telling me, Doc, critique and give solutions. You've been here for a minute. Just scroll and go. Keep scrolling, bro. This is not a life for you. Hapa hii si live yat yo mia kunyonga. This is not a life for kunyonga. You're here bringing a false identity here. You want me to help you to ejaculate? What is your problem? The critic can give solutions. Did you wait until the life got to an end? Have you waited for the solutions from people? Have you just sat back and listened? You're here for a minute, already you're angry because you found a place to actually exercise your anger. False identities. This is what we are talking about. False identities. And they're here telling you, oh, you know what, give solutions. Which solutions? Have you even listened to the problem? Do you even know your problem? Fix your name. Start by there. That's an identity problem. How can you be called 𝐹𝐶𝐻16? What type of name is that? Just scroll and go to next until you have a real name, because you thought that you're coming to a channel that people are actually ejaculating on other people's platforms. So you think here is an ejaculation platform, and now you've hidden your identity. Bring your identity out, because here we solve those issues. You're angry, walking with anger. You're just looking for a place to lash your anger to. And now you decide, let me just type. You're typing so fast, you're even making a lot of typing errors. We will whip you so hard. Yeah, to Bembelezi, my friend. So yes, Health and Wellness Spot on YouTube is a platform that you should join. Health and Wellness Spot on TikTok, the platform that we are on right now. I also have another Health and Wellness Spot on Telegram. If you've seen my YouTube videos, they have all these links that will send you to our Telegram channel. Join in. Let's have a big population. Let's change you. Let's actually explain it from closer, so that you don't bring emotions on lives. Okay? So join those 3 platforms. And then we have a consultancy. Health and Wellness Sport has a consultancy that you can actually use. This contact 0707074722. We have done a lot of counseling to people, and we've realized all professions across the board have the same problems. They just think, oh, because I'm a lawyer, my problems are unique. Because I'm a doctor, my problems are unique. No way. You have the same problems, same identities. You're of evil. You must be willing to let go that identity of doctor. You're not a doctor. You're just Lewis. You have to let off those false identities go. So you die of those false identities and then resurrect in the right identities. Doc, you should start a church. People will definitely convert. Oh man, this is a church already. The only problem is, says you did not realize that we're already in church right now. And this is not even a church, it's a special fellowship. So we don't even label it a church because of the false identities that come with people. This is a fellowship that we know how to reconnect with ourselves, with our creators, through getting our identities. And through that identity, our creators will reveal things to us individually. We don't need somebody to sell us hope. We don't need hope. But you go to church on Sunday dressed up so well, you come back and say, oh, Pastor, I'm blessed. And the pastor has just combined 3 verses from different books and sold you the hope. And then after that, 30 minutes or 1 hour down the line, you're busy fornicating because Sunday is for fornication. Is it? It is. And you are so holy, right? Oh, you are holier than thou. This is the only day that you put up a dress that reaches your toes. You see, I've seen there's a lady who is singing gospel music. I think it's in Kikuyu language. And she will shake her body. And the last thing she does is to turn so that we see the behind. So we don't like her videos because she has a message, because some of us don't even know Kikuyu. We see her videos because she's shaking nyash, and we want that. So, false identities. We don't want her songs. No way. We want her nyash. Is that not what we want? But you will not say it, right? Because, oh, you know what? If I say this, I'll lose my brand. You don't have a brand. You don't have a brand. No, you don't. At your brand, I'll lose a brand. Oh, you know, I'm building a brand. Which brand? The only brand we are building is reconnecting to God by getting an identity. And the rest shall be added unto us. So for how long shall you shake nyash when you're singing? Is it nyash or nyash? Whatever. You're shaking that as you're singing gospel songs. And we are looking there, we are drooling. We even forgot that it's a gospel song. We are, and then we use that video to actually ejaculate at night. Some of you are facilitating sin. As you sing those songs, you're facilitating sin. utaona moto mbaya sana. Anyway, so you can use that contact for if you want to book an appointment with us. In January, we are running a weight loss program that goes for 3 months. So you can actually start booking that through the same contact. The same January, at the end of January, we'll be in Nairobi for the physical consultation. So it will be actually appropriate if you start booking now, so that by the time we get to that moment, it can be easier for us to actually facilitate you. So you can book using that contact, 0707074722. Mickey has pinned it on TikTok, I've pinned it on YouTube. Use that contact to book your appointments. And please, the one who is doing these bookings is flying out of the country. So please, you can simply send a WhatsApp message. She will respond to you appropriately and in good time. Thank you so much for that. Dok, ongea yote ikutoke. Leo naongea initoke. Hii kitu mpaka initoke. Hii identity lazima niwamwagie identity. Anyway, let's keep going. So now, the S whatever, the lack of, is he a she-male or something? We are here now for the solutions now. Before I go to the conversations, and I hope you can actually get the conversation. So but before that, let me just go to the conversations. So if you're here and you would like to have this conversation, you have questions, you want me to clear your doubts, you can actually request to be in, so that we can actually roll this conversation. I hope my lines are on. Is weight loss paid? What a question. What a question. Kama weight loss iko paid for? Well, you have the guts, my friend. You have the guts. So Dr. Hayes, I want the groups to are free. These groups go to are free. You just come in, join in, and you lose weight and you go. Tawe. I'm not Jesus. I am not Jesus. At least that one you know. Good. This is Joanne. Joanne.
Yes, good evening, doctor.
Good evening. How are you?
Okay.
How are you?
I'm fine, doctor. How are you?
All is well from this side of heaven. How did you know you're fine?
Because I'm smiling.
Oh, when somebody is smiling, they're fine.
To me, I'm fine when I'm smiling. Because when I'm not fine, then I'll be crying.
Amazing. Okay, thank you. So take me through your story. Do you have anger?
Yes. And actually, I'm always lonely. I want attention.
Okay. Why are you lonely?
I want to be cared. I don't know, but that's the feeling within me.
Okay. Are you married?
Yes, I am.
So if you're married, I suppose you're married to a man.
Of course, yes.
So why are you lonely if you're married to a man?
I don't know.
Do you know the definition of the word man? Do you know how to define the word man?
I don't know, but I know that I have a husband at home.
Okay, so let's see if this husband is a man. So a man is an adult male that loves God with all he has, with nothing else. Is that your husband?
No.
No wonder. Yeah, no wonder. So
it means I'm also not a woman.
No, that it doesn't mean that. I'm just giving you the definition of a man. We don't talk so much about women because we know women can adapt to a man. Okay? And then realize this, that a woman attracts who she is. So if you're feeling lonely, you portray that loneliness. That loneliness did not come now. It has been there all through. So you attracted who you are. You attracted a lonely man, and you guys thought that when you come together, you'll make this perfect couple that will solve this loneliness. Now you came together and the loneliness is still there. What does that tell you?
I don't know. I'm confused also.
No, it tells you don't have an identity. Were you raised by both parents?
By a foster father.
What is a foster father? What does that mean?
My mom got married to another guy, so I grew up from there.
And what happened to your biological father?
They divorced with my mom.
Why?
He's there, but I never grew up with him.
What was the reason for their divorce?
I can't tell because I was still young. I never stayed with my dad. What I remember is that I came to my mind when they're not staying together.
Okay. What age were you when they separated?
I can't really tell, but I was still young.
Okay.
I think around primary one.
Yeah.
So young.
Do you ever long for your biological father? Do you have a void inside you that longs for your biological father?
We don't have a bond.
Mm-hmm.
I go visit him, but he's not someone that I crave to go see or talk to.
No, it's not a bond. Like, I know there's no bond because you are separated from him and your mother made you think that he was the enemy. So do you long sometimes for your biological father? Do you have that void of a biological father?
No.
Tell me about your foster father. How was he?
He was 50-50.
What do you mean by 50-50?
Like, of course, he wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But again, being that you're staying with someone, he's not your father.
Yes.
You can't be that totally free.
Thank you.
Things that you will not do because, it's not your dad.
Thank you so much for saying that. Now, I asked you a question that do you long for a biological father? You said no. And then I've just asked you another question that is related to the same question. And you've just put my point out clear. That there are things that you would have wanted to do, but you would not do them because you realize that this is not your father. So there was a longing for your biological father who would have actually made you complete, secure, and feel easy to do things that you wanted to do as a daughter who is growing up, right?
Okay. So
this foster father, or whatever you call him, he came in and separated you from the love of your father and the love that was supposed to be there, that was supposed to raise you, that was supposed to come from your father and your mother. Now, you're not responsible for the break of your father and your mother. That is their own business. But you have paid for that nonsense. You've paid for their problems. And that's why you feel lonely, because you don't have an identity. You feel insecure. You are married to a man and you still feel insecure because the loneliness is not coming from you getting a man. The loneliness is coming from you having a void of a biological father. And until you reconnect with your biological father, you will end up having this loneliness. Do you have children?
Yes, I do.
So how are you raising these children when you have that void and you have the anger?
I don't know.
Do you have sons?
I feel lonely. Yes, I have.
How many of them? And how old are they?
I have one at 16.
Yes.
Another one is still 7.
Yeah. Do you and your husband share bills?
Not really.
So who is the ultimate provider, you or your husband?
It's the one. I give a hand if I want.
Okay. So what do you do with your money? Are you working?
Yes.
What do you do with your money? Or it's private?
Not really, but I do my personal projects.
You have personal
stuff at home.
You have personal projects that are besides your husband's dream.
Of course, we don't share the same dreams.
This is the problem with most married women nowadays. Married women are single. Like, we are married, but we are single. Remember, there is only one leader in that home. That's why a woman is willing to let her goals go, her everything go to join a marriage. A marriage is a full-time job. So you cannot be married and single at the same time. You cannot say, I am married, and then you say, I have my projects. Which projects? Your projects are for the family, to actually make sure that this man... Do you know a role of a woman to her husband?
Yes.
What? But submitting is not a role. That is nature. If his masculine is providing and protecting you and then having adequate sex with you, of course, you will submit automatically.
So what's my role as a woman?
Support.
Support, yes.
Yes. And it's not financial support. It's spiritual support. You simply go down on your knees and pray from your heart, not from your mind. Okay. And then give him children, and then give him children and raise his children.
So why do I have to use my money? Because I'm not supposed to give to share bills with my husband, right?
Why are you working? Do you know motherhood is a full-time job?
I'm working because I need money.
What do you need money for if he's providing?
To take care of myself, my people at home.
Why do you have a husband?
Emergency.
Why do you have a husband?
Of course, he can't take care of everything.
But why would you take care of everything? Why are you taking care of your family? Yet your mother has the husband to take care of her. So why are you taking care of something that is not your responsibility?
Doctor, in our culture, they say that when the rabbits get older, they start breastfeeding on the young ones. That's how it is.
Don't you think that culture was designed by somebody to actually brainwash you to think that you will rely on your children? You'll actually make your children your retirement plan, because what you're doing right now, you're trying to be this good person, which you're not, because you don't even have love in you. You have anger, so you don't have love. So you're just acting as your thoughts are telling you that you're a good person. You need to protect them and provide for them. And now later on, you will do the same to your children. You'll now be relying to your children to actually support you. You have a husband, and that husband is supposed to play that role of provision to you. But you attracted who you are. You attracted a weak man. That's why you're actually working. Because you attracted who you are. Inside you did not have an identity. You ended up attracting a man who doesn't have an identity. And now you're suffering loneliness. Now the only solution has to be you must reconnect with your biological father. And you have to overcome the nature of your mother, because your mother is the one who actually taught you how to go and hustle and find your way out and do your own projects. Why? Because she was left and she became bitter. So she thought that she raised you to know that you're supposed to become somebody who does not make the mistake that she made, because she considered your father as a mistake. And then weirdly, she sees your father in you. She saw your father in you, and she hated that. So she had to make sure that she's raising you to a woman who is not her mistakes. So she remodeled you into her own image. Once she did that, she destroyed you. She actually turned you against your biological father. And now she even made it worse. She brought in a man to actually divide attention between you and her. You see, you're calling him a foster father because you know very well he's not your father. So he came in and divided the attention between you and your mother, and you did not like that. So you paid for crimes that were actually committed by your mother. And now, if you continuously do what you're doing, you will suffer, because you're doing the same things expecting different results. You're still lonely. Even though you're married, you're still lonely. So the only thing you need to do is to overcome the spirit of your mother that lives inside you. Face your mother and tell your mother, you know what? You've raised me into this woman that I am right now, and I'm happy about that. However, things that happened between you and my father have made me resent you for no good reason. And I realize that it's not right for me to resent a human being. Therefore, I apologize. Once you do that, do not care about what your mother will tell you or what she'll say. The move that she'll pull, it doesn't matter. Say that, give her about 10 seconds to respond. If she responds, pay attention, but do not act upon the thought that she's actually saying. The thing that she's saying, do not act upon them. Just pay attention and move on. And then go find your biological father and tell him that the separation that happened between him and your mother actually made you resent him. And you've realized that, and now you apologize. Once you do that, you will reconnect with the spirit of your father. And trust me, once you say that to your father, he will sense that the nature of your mother is out of you. He will tell you what exactly happened between them. You will now see the bigger picture, because right now, the only image you have now is what your mother told you about your father. And that could be a lie, because she was emotional, she was angry at your father.
Actually, my mom never shared anything that happened between her and my dad.
Did you ask?
No.
Exactly.
I never asked, because she passed away when I was still young. I didn't ask that.
Your mother passed away?
Yes.
So then she left you in the hands of your foster father?
No, I left my maternal side.
Okay, so you left to where?
And our dad, I left my auntie to assist her to my mom. Our dad is someone who never followed up to know where the kids are. So he has come out when we are old, and she's looking for us. And
but how would you know he never followed up? Your mother kept you away from him. How would you know he never followed up?
My mother passed on when I was old, but not to be told those things that happened in their marriage.
But your mother kept you away from your father. Because if she wanted you to connect with your father, she should have introduced you to your father. She would have actually decided when you're there, they make a decision between themselves when you're there. But now you see, you sided with your mother because that's what the side of the story that you know. You're even thinking that your father did not follow up. So what makes sense to me here is that you hate your father without even knowing. And you hate your father because of the hatred that came from the mother. So your mother taught you hate. Because if he taught you love, you would have connected your biological father already. So she kept you away constantly from your biological father. That was an intentional move because of what happened between them. She got angry with your biological father and she decided to keep you away. So she punished your father by keeping the children away. And now she told you that your father was the mistake. You see, that's the reason why you're thinking your father did not follow up. How did you know your father did not follow up?
Because I never saw him, even when my mom passed away. I never saw him like coming home to look for the kids that he had with the woman.
But how would your father come home to somebody else? Does it even make sense that your mother moved on with another man and now your father has to come to this other man to take the children? Does it make sense to you?
I mean when my mom passed on, he would have come where we went, like where we were staying by then after leaving the other guy's place.
But what? Look at it this way. Imagine your father you're making it look like your father was waiting for your mother to die for him to come. That doesn't make sense to me. Like if your mother wanted you to reconnect with your biological father, she would have done that before she even died. And their separation is the problem because why did they separate? Did they get into a marriage to separate? Why did they separate?
Doctor, is it this longing that I'm feeling? Is it from my dad that I never grew up with my father?
Yes, it's a void that is inside you that longs for a biological father. Is he still alive?
So he's alive. So my question is, Doc.
Yeah.
To those women who are struggling in their marriages, would you advise them to stay there because they want this the girls and the kids that they have given birth to grow up with the same parents, not to have this thing in their heart and mind, like the anger and the loneliness? But
this story is not about other women. We are fixing your identity. We are not fixing other women's identity. Let them bring their story on board. This is your story. So ask your question.
Okay.
Yes, just ask your question. If it's about you, make it about you because I want to fix you, not fix other women through you.
Okay, back to me.
Yes.
You said that the anger and the loneliness is because I didn't grow up with my father.
Yes. There's a void in you for biological father.
So I've always gone back. Like once a while, I go, we talk, we laugh, we do everything, and I come back home. So this time around, I should go back and then to seek for my identity.
Yes, you've gone back to make stories because in you you have an ego that makes you think you are so good. That I love my father, so you have to connect. Getting an identity means you have to overcome the nature of your father. He was weak, that's why your mother separated from him. And then he did not come in to protect you from the emotions and the anger that was coming from your mother that has actually built a home in you. So you're going to forgive him and you're going to ask for forgiveness because you realized you resent him. But you see, he's your biological father. You cannot do anything. You cannot undo that. He's your creator. So he's your earthly representation of God. So therefore you must reconnect with your God so that you get your own identity. And because your earthly representation of God is your biological father, you go face him and tell him you apologize for resenting him. Once you do that, the ego gets out of you, the anger is taken out of you, and you get your identity back. And now through that identity, God will reveal things to you. He will show you how to raise your sons. He will actually fill you with love. So you will not feel lonely. You will not need a man to become complete. You will not feel inadequate. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for perfect peace from within. You get my point?
Like you said that we attract what we are.
Yes.
Like, could I have attracted my husband and he's also lonely?
Not unless we find out about that from your husband. But however, you are in a marriage, but you are lonely. What does that tell you? That you people do not connect at emotional levels, which means all of you don't have identities. Is that simple? So he's also lonely on his own. Possibly you guys are just there because of the sex. So after the sex, everybody's thinking, why don't you just get out of here? And maybe either of you is actually cheating already. There we go. Amazing. So anyway, go get perfect peace inside you. Okay, go get that perfect peace inside you by just forgiving your father and reconnecting with him. And then through that, do not care about what will come out of that, because once you do that, you will have your own identity and things will be revealed through that identity.
Actually, I asked something and you're like, I shouldn't ask on behalf of other women.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted to make a step.
Okay.
Like leaving the marriage, because feeling that loneliness, and then you're married at the same time you feel like you're single.
Yeah.
But I've always looked at these kids and I pity them. Like, if at all, because I always feel it, that maybe I have that space for the love that my dad never occupied. So it's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, yeah. You see, Joanne, just continue.
I pity my girls.
Yes.
That in case I decide to leave, I will still transfer this loneliness to my girls, because they will also be lacking the
identity,
the love from their father.
Yes.
I don't know how to fix that, but that's what I feel for now.
Allow me to tell you this. Stop feeling, because your feelings are lying to you. They're coming from your thoughts, and the thoughts are the home of evil. So the devil is lying to you through your thoughts, which control your feelings. So start doubting your thoughts, and then do this. You see, you got married for a reason, and that reason was a false reason. You thought that if you get married, your loneliness will disappear. And now you're here, you've experienced it, no loneliness is going away. But you have children. And if you leave that marriage, these children will suffer. So your point is not thinking about leaving the marriage. Your point is thinking about not being selfish to these children. Because when you leave that marriage, these children will suffer. They will be filled with anger. Now you see you're in a marriage, you resent your man because you're lonely. So you thought he's going to come in and make you complete. Now you're resenting him, yet it's not his fault. He also doesn't have an identity. So the problem is yours. You don't have an identity. So why don't you just focus on fixing yourself? Find that identity, and then you will build the spirit of good inside you, and that spirit will actually guide you to do what you have to do. So stop thinking about leaving the marriage. Stop thinking about you're married and you're lonely. You're not lonely. You have the spirit of evil inside you. So overcome that spirit. Once you overcome that spirit, your identity will come back. You will have light. You will have love for your children. You will not leave that marriage, because right now if you leave that marriage, the next thing you're going to look for is a man again who will make you complete. And now you'll bring in somebody who will actually destroy the love that you have for your children. So you see, by the time a woman is thinking of leaving a marriage, already there's a man who is trying to tell him, outside this relationship, there is green light. But that man is only enjoying the fruits of the organ. Immediately you drop that marriage, that man disappears. That's how it happens. The grass is always greener outside the marriage. But go and leave that marriage. When you get out there, you realize, oh, all these men, actually they are married. And they are busy in their marriages. They are cheating because they don't have identities. So they've made you cheat at some point when you're thinking, because when I cheat, have sex with another man, it doesn't add up. You still have this void inside you. So that void is not being filled by your husband or these men or these three that you're chasing. That void will only be filled when you reconnect with the biological father. He will get rid of that anger. He'll get rid of that loneliness. That is God doing. And he'll light up your light again, your identity. And through that identity, you will be revealed things to do. So it will not be you who will be doing them. It will be that identity that will be controlling you. Right now, you're being controlled by the identity of evil. So you must overcome it. Okay. So you must. When you go find your father, talk to him and tell him, I have been resenting you for no good reason and I apologize. And fathers will not lie to you. They will tell you what exactly happened between him and your mother. And you will see the bigger picture. Now you'll realize you have been wrong all the way. But once you reconnect with the biological father, you're good to go. Your life will open up and you'll have perfect peace. So there will be no loneliness anymore.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. Hey. Now, these conversations are very interesting because they spike emotions. One, you will think that this conversation is going nowhere. Okay? But that direction that is taking is because you don't have an identity, so you don't see the bigger picture. So as they keep on going, you start to realize, oh, okay. And then you realize, oh. So even if you build a wall around you, trust me, I'm able to see beyond that wall. because I'm at a place that I can only see good and evil. So as you speak, the identity inside me will see that as evil. I'll discern it. I'll show you the way. And until you see the way, perfect peace is not coming. Let's go to the next individual. And as I put in this next individual, allow me to read something here. There are people who are requesting me to start the church. This is a fellowship. Thank you so much, 𝐈𝐃𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐈𝐓, for £3. Amazing. This topic about children parenthood is very interesting and sensitive too. How about the children brought up in children homes? Some don't know their parents, others adopted, raised by different people. Now listen, even if you're born or if you are raised in an orphanage, you still have that void for your biological father. Now, apparently, you don't know who your biological father is. So yourself, the only thing that they need to do is to understand that they need an identity. And because they don't know their biological fathers, they need to stick in prayer. They need to doubt every single thought in their heads. And then they need to stay present. So I'll give you some solutions here that you will see how it happens. You must be willing to let off those false identities to go. That identity of an orphanage or raised in an orphanage has to go. Don't identify with money. Don't identify with careers and brands. Let them all go. You die from that evil identity. Once that happens, now you can start fixing yourself. So I'll tell you the steps to actually fix this. So just stay put, Agnes Bube. You'll see that. Let me just see. Until they confirm, we cannot continue. This is a very interesting one. Or we can actually log out of YouTube and come back and just finish this on TikTok. No sound. Let me just see for the last time. Let's try for the last time. Sound is back. Yes. Good. Now, thank you so much for confirming. It's back. Yes, good. So, Shafiq, you said, I want to get you this clearly, that you were born and raised by two parents. However, you were taken to boarding school from which grade again?
Primary.
Oh, so you started boarding.
Primary 3. Senior 6.
Up to senior 6, and then you said that you and your father hardly agree on anything.
Yeah.
So name one thing that you and your father do not agree on.
So the thing is, I my family is a Muslim family.
Okay.
So I got to read about certain things, and I felt like religion is not for me. And I was like, I'm going to meditate and
Yeah.
and leave that life of meditation and leave religion aside, and
Yeah.
So when I came out and talked about it, that's like the spark of things that started. We don't agree in anything. I tell him I want to do this, and and I want advice from you. He brings back that same thing that sparked.
And when you're going to this school
of religion.
Oh, so it's about religion that actually started all these hiccups.
Yeah.
So at this moment in time, what do you practice?
I meditate.
Okay.
When I pray, I always pray in the morning, and that's it. I don't I believe there is God, but I don't believe there is religion and
Okay.
that we can follow.
Okay. So do you have anger?
Yes, I have anger.
Where do you think that anger is coming from?
I have that. For my father not understanding me on certain things when he should understand me, because he's my parent.
Okay. And do you love? Yeah.
When I tell some people about, or when I tell some people about what I believe, friends, they be like, I think you're crazy, you're going crazy. I don't know what is, that feeling that you get from people who are supposed to be, beside you and stuff like that.
Yes. And how old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay. And do you have a connection with your mother? Do you have a good relationship with your mother?
Yes, we have a connection, but it's lagging. My father is it's like my father is influencing you. Your child is not accepting the religion that has praised us, that we have been believing in. So when we talk, it's like we are talking, but at the end of every conversation, she's like, "Why did you convert?" It's like, yeah.
So did you convert, or did you just drop Islam? Because converting means you have to leave Islam to go to something else. You did not do that.
I just dropped.
Okay. So why don't you just forgive them for them? They're not seeing the light that you're seeing, because you're a human being and you're supposed to be you're supposed to live your life completely without them interfering. You're 24 years old, for heaven's sake. They're supposed to leave you when you get to 18 years. So why do they think that they must have some form of control over you?
It's not only about that. It's not only about religion. It's about the decisions I take in life. It's about they want to have a hand in everything. You get.
Why?
I don't know. It's like a control, parent control.
Oh.
They know the best. They know the best decision that you are supposed to take.
But they don't, because they are
as a child, when you're going to take a certain decision.
But right now,
when you're taking a certain decision, you kind of ask, your parent, you actually God. You get that,
No, but you know very well that you don't need anything from your parents. You know that, because you're not their child. You're the child of God. They were supposed to be caretakers until you get to an age that you can actually stand independently, and that's 18 in Kenyan calendars. So when you go to 18, they should have released you. But because they are evil, they are holding on to you and they want to block you from seeing your real identity, from getting your real satisfaction. So I would suggest this. Why don't you go and overcome them? Because right now they are making you resent them, because anytime they hold back on what you want to do, they are making you resent them. And as you resent them, you'll become as evil as they are. They don't know God. They know about God because they've been taught through religion. So they think they have an opinion about God because in their head they have ideas about God.
Yes.
But that's not how it's supposed to be. If you have an idea about God, it means you don't know God. So they have ideas about God. That's why they want to hold you back to do what they want to do. They are controlling you, and that's not right. So this is what you're supposed to do. Face your mother on an individual day and tell her,
Yes.
that I don't appreciate the fact that you people
Yes.
are actually meddling in all my affairs. And I've realized that this is actually making me resent you. And I don't want that. So I apologize for resenting you. Tell that to your mother straight to her face.
Yes.
Once you've done that, do not even care about what she will say.
Yes.
Find another day and move to your father and tell him, I understand that I took decisions that did not go right according to you. But I believe that this is the path that I want to take. And I realized through that, I started resenting you.
Yes.
But since I've realized that I'm not supposed to resent my father, I apologize. Once you say that, move.
Yes. No, I don't live with them.
That is even perfect, bro. So go
After campus.
Yes.
I'm living with them.
So you left after campus.
I am living with some other people.
Listen, you can live on your own. You don't need to live with other people, because those other people, which the people that you're calling your friends, are the ones that are actually blocking you from seeing the bigger picture. They're actually telling you, you know what? Oh, this is this. They're giving you ideas. They're actually fixing their thoughts in your head. So when you're living and you want your identity, you don't need friends to be there, because they're not your friends. They're just people you know. And they're there because of a common interest. If that interest drops, they're not your friends anymore. So you don't have friends. That is one. Number one, start by understanding that whatever has happened to you is none of your business. Whatever has happened to you in the past, whether positive or negative, you're not responsible, okay? That is one. Once you understand you're not responsible, understand that your parents have the nature of evil. They are very controlling. And therefore, you need to overcome their nature of control and their nature of evilness, because they think they know God better than you, and they think they can actually guide you in a way to know God the way they know God. So they have ideas about God, and that is false. They are false ideas. So what you need to do is you need to overcome them. Go and forgive your mother, and then go and forgive your father. And once you've done that, move out and go start your life on your own. Things will open up for you. Why? Because the nature of fear will leave you. The nature of anger that you have right now will leave you. The nature of loneliness, the nature of feeling unwanted will leave you. So therefore, you'll not need those friends. You'll not need your parents. All you need is God and an identity. You're good to go.
Yes.
And then you will realize, once your life starts taking shape, you will see your father will be the first one to start calling you and saying, oh, this is my son. Oh, you know, guys, this is my son. He'll start identifying and associating with you. So just understand that he is in a fallen state, and it's not his mistake.
Yeah.
It is the spirit that lives inside him that controls him to actually do what he's doing. So do not judge him for that. But because you are resenting him for doing what he's doing, trying to exert control on you, you must overcome him. So go and overcome your mother. Tell her, I've been resenting you for no good reason, and I realize that is wrong. I apologize. Leave and go and face your father and tell him the same thing. Once you do that, God will see the pain that you're going through. He'll get off that anger. He'll get off that fear. He'll get off that loneliness and that inadequacy, and he'll give you your own identity. And then through that identity, God will reveal things to you on how to lead your life. So move out and start a life of your own. Detach from your friends, because they'll drag you back.
Thank you very much, Doctor. Is it like an ego to resent?
Yes, actually, you see, all these things. You know, you see, you don't have a way of letting the ego go. You can't, because you're controlled by the same ego. It is the spirit that lives in you, the spirit of evil. And this spirit, you're not born with it. Your parents taught you this spirit by actually trying to control you. Imagine Instead of them raising you, they took you to a boarding school all through. They did not love you that much that they had to release you to boarding school at an early age. And then you come out of that boarding school, as if that is not enough, they still want to exert their control over you. You are 24, but your father is still taking control over you. That's nonsense. That is him trying to control you and fix the spirit of evil inside you. So you must overcome him to see the bigger picture. The ego that is inside you is coming as a form of protection against what is coming from them, the control that is coming from them. So you need to let go of that ego. And because ego, anger, loneliness, sadness, unhappy, and all these emotions are actually the same thing, the spirit of evil, but they are just coming in with different names and different identities. So once you let go of the nature of evil, the ego will go with that. And now you'll have perfect peace. And now you'll not rely on your father for anything. You'll not rely on anybody for anything. You'll not judge people. You'll not have opinion over anything. And that is what you need.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
You're welcome, sir. And I'm glad that you came through. Thank you so much for coming through.
This is my mother, and thank you.
Oh, amazing story. Amazing story. Ladies and gentlemen, when I say these things, you people think I'm just making these stories up. Have you just seen what just happened there? So when I say these things, you people think I'm making things up. One, it was easy for me to tap the identity problem in Shafiq because of how he put his name. Number two, how he commented on my life. So I tapped that out and I realized quickly this was the nature of evil. And guess what I did? I rebuked it. Once I rebuked it, he saw the sense and he decided to come in. What an amazing story. YouTube almost lost us, almost messed us up, but I'm glad we came back. Good lessons that you will not be taught in church. Good lessons that our fathers cannot teach us because they are full of ego. They think that their way is the only way. Our fathers think they know God because they have ideas of God, but look at them suffering. Look at them being controlled by the nature of women and the nature of evil. Look at them resenting their children. A father sending a child in a boarding school at an early age. So basically half of this son's child is school. He was being conditioned, false identities being put in his head through school and religion and all these things. And now he's so messed up, he's so angry at everything. Inside him, he has a lot of anger. So he was looking for a home or a place to just lash this anger and redirect it to. Little did he know that this is a place that will actually fix him. And we are hoping that Shafiq, you can actually go and change your life for the better. Gain the confidence, go and face your mother, overcome her. Face your father with his evilness. And I know when you face your father, he will come all guns blazing with a lot of ego. Do not be afraid of that. Just tell him, you know what? I did not come here to fight. I have realized that I've been resenting you because of what is happening between me and you. And I realize that is not right for me to resent you. So I apologize. Remember, your father and your mother do not have the ability to forgive you. It is God who forgives. So when you say that to them, you're actually taking them off your path of identity. So God will see that. God will get that anger out of you. He'll get that loneliness, that inadequacy, that feeling of happy and unhappiness, that feeling of wanting to belong to a group of people. Because you see, you're running away from your father. You're ending up attracting friends who are just there to manipulate you. So it's time for you to drop those friends. It's time for you to drop your parents. Because life, you came alone, you live alone. You need your own identity. But you need them off your path for identity. Once you get them off that path of identity, bro, your life will open up because you have perfect peace. And now guess how wicked they are. Later on, when your life is opening up, they'll be there to destroy that light. They'll come in again and say, oh, you know what? You are my son. They tell people, oh, that is my son. You see, my son is doing well. You see, my son, blah, blah, blah. Because the nature of ego, the nature of evil inside of them cannot even allow them to swallow their pride and come and apologize. So play reverse psychology on them. I appreciate you so. Amazing conversation. What is resenting in Kiswahili? Hey. Chuki, sio? Chuki, basically chuki, yes. It's like hatred. It's the same thing. You hate them, but you think you love them because you have these ideas. The devil is telling you, oh, you know what? You love them. You don't hate your mother. That is the devil. Amazing conversations. Yeah. Identity Friday is something else. I'm late, but I'm glad I'm able to get this bit of wisdom. Oh, Casey, you're never late for healthcare. Yes, she.
Hi, doctor.
Hello, what is your full name?
I'm Sarah.
You're Sarah.
Yes.
Amazing, amazing. How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
All is well from this side of heaven. Welcome on board. Do you have anger?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes, now my story is here.
Yes.
It has, okay, I will make it as simple as possible because it's a long one.
Yeah.
So, now my mom
Yes.
was once married
Mm-hmm.
by my biological dad.
Yes.
So along the way, they separated, and within that time of separation,
Mm-hmm.
my dad died.
Okay.
So when my dad died, my mom had also had anger issues. That one I can tell for a fact because of the things that she used to tell us after my dad died. Because, for instance, maybe my dad was a sole provider because my mom was a housewife.
Mm-hmm.
So when my dad died, my mom had to come out and go look for greener pastures.
Okay.
And she left us to our maternal mother. So what happened, when my mom moved out,
Yeah.
she went and got married.
Oh, okay.
That was without even involving us or anything. So the reason why I say that she had anger issues, it's because, for instance, we could maybe when we are cooking like something like tea and maybe somebody put extra sugar in it,
Mm-hmm.
she could tell us, "Hey, you have forgotten where we left your dad. Eh? You will go get the sugar there." You know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we grew up even with fears because we felt that if I put a lot of oil by mistake, it will be a story.
Yeah.
And you'll be pretend like nobody's business.
Okay.
So when she left, she left us when we were in primary school to come to Nairobi. She left us in the village.
Yeah.
So we kind of felt relief kidogo because now we don't have to be bullied by our own mother or being talked in a way that it was not good, blah blah blah. And then something else that happened is she disconnected us from our paternal parents, our paternal relatives, and everybody involved.
Yeah.
Our paternal side.
Yeah.
So she could inject a lot of negativity. Your dad was this. You were bra and everything. Even when my grandmother from my paternal, when she died, she never told us. She just hidden everything. So way later in life, of course, people grow up, and we started. Me and my brothers, we started asking ourselves, where did we come from? We would really want to know. So my mom, still, she had this anger of, waliwasomesha, mnawatafuta wamewafanyia nini? Unakumbuka baba yenu alikuwa na mali tukanyang'anywa nyinyi kupata chochote and all that. So even after inputting all those negativity with us, also because now, as I told you earlier, 1 year later or so, my mom got married to somebody else who was a widow. A widow and widowed. She got married, but now she never involved us and she never told us anything. So we happened to come to Nairobi, and we got now our mom is married. After 4 years, because we were still in primary school, most of us.
Yeah.
So it became too hard for us to accept a new man, and it has personally nobody ever even called the guy dad or anything close to that. And since we knew the guy from the village, we used to know he was Baba Nani. So that is how most of all of us, we used to address him like that.
Yeah.
But my mom used to be like, go take this to your dad, go do this to your dad, and we could. Now the anger used to wake her up, like sisi, we could not tell her because of how harsh she used to become, but it was making us feel like ikitibaba, all the negativity used to build up in our minds. So fast forward, we grew up, we moved from our home,
and my mom was still with her husband, and we felt that she never gave us the love or the motherly love, or we also lacked the fatherly love.
Yeah.
So because even when I finished school, that is when I realized my mom used to pay our school fees as her kids, and the guy used to pay, because the guy used to have 4 kids as well. He used to pay the school fees for his kids.
Yeah.
But now they went under the waters. But way later, of course, because we grew up, we came to realize that. So we decided to talk out ourselves, and we are like, okay, we know where our identity is. Our dad has passed on. We don't have relatives on our father's side. As much as we would really want to be closer to them, we don't know all of them.
Yeah.
The few that we know, we try and talk to them, we engage with them. And when my mom comes to realize that, she really gets mad. So me one day, I have been listening to the Identity Friday a lot. So it has really helped me, because one day I told her, listen, mom, you are married for your own selfish reasons.
Yeah.
This guy, we don't even know his family. We don't even know his house. We just live, just living, if I may say. We have our own background from my father's side.
Yeah.
Me personally, those are my family. Those are uncles and cousins. As much as you don't want us to engage with them, with us, they have not wronged us.
Yeah.
So for me to tell her that, she used to tell me that niko na kiburi and all that. But I realized the more I'm holding on the bitter and everything, the more we are losing it.
Yeah.
So we decided, let's go with our own personal ways and all that. So that one we have settled. As much as she's still not okay with it, with us, me personally, I do not care how she feels about everything.
Yeah.
So that's now my anger issues comes in not in terms of now the fatherly love or the motherly love or whatever they did. Now my 𝐃𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐘 is here. So I happened to have a kid.
Yes.
This kid is like when you have a boyfriend and you happen to be pregnant, and then the baby comes, and then the dad disappears.
Yeah.
So over the 5 years, because the kid is 5 years, I have been trying to reach out to the dad. Hey, how are you? Kindly let us meet. This kid has to have her real identity. She can she? You really want for her to know you are the real dad, and so on and so forth. So I have really tried to talk to her, but the guy really puts me in a lot of pain, because we can even plan, and then tomorrow he doesn't respond.
Yeah.
So in this case, what do you do? Because now, like the other day, I told him, I'm having issues with the school fees. So I really want you to help me sort the school fees by next year. So the guy was like, it's okay, but now you need to change that name that you gave her to my name, so that I'm able to put her as my beneficiary from where I work.
Yeah.
And I was okay, fine. Can we meet? We discussed even the name that you are going to change the name from this to that. And then she meets you first, and you explain to her, because she is bright enough to understand that people have dads and moms.
Yeah.
We meet and explain. We come to an agreement with the kind of a name that you are going to give it to her. Up to date, still that is another 3 weeks now. He has never. I have been trying to reach out. Hi, can we still meet? So in this case, what can you advise me? Because now I have really tried on my side to make it up to her, to him, his daughter, not even me.
Yeah. Now, first things first, congratulations for being bold with your mother. Because you're born of evil, you're born of anger in a broken marriage. They were there physically, they were trying to satisfy each other's needs through sex. They were never there because of responsibility and all that. So your mother ended up resenting your father, because I believe your father was weak, and may his soul rest in peace. We can't talk about him now. It is so unfortunate that your mother still imparted all this anger and all this hatred in new people, even after your father was dead. So she had no respect for your father, and that is evident. And now she kept on running away from herself. She went ahead feeling lonely, and she left saying she was going to find something for you guys, work, only to go there and get married, and boom, she's gone. So she did not love you guys. She hated you guys because she saw your father in you. So she resented you, and she started teaching you hatred, hating the side of the father with her hate. And that was not a good thing. But I'm glad that you overcame her. But the point is this: before you knew about identity stories, you already had a child, right? So that's the problem, because the problem is you also attracted who you are. Your mother taught you anger, you're filled with this anger and this hatred, and you thought that you can run away from your mother and get to attract somebody who will actually make you feel comfortable, make you feel complete and loved and appreciated or accepted. And that messed you up, because you ended up attracting a male, let me use the word a male. You ended up attracting a male who did not have an identity. His role was to ejaculate and leave, and he did that perfectly. So yes, you attracted who you are at that moment in time. But you see, you're on a journey of fixing yourself. So one, stop calling him, stop begging him to come, and step up. That is number one. So stop calling him. If any case, drop him totally. Okay, the only thing you need to do is, if his daughter is asking for him, you actually try to make sure that the daughter, do not block your daughter from actually getting to meet him. But if he's not willing to actually meet your daughter because he's always running and he's thinking maybe you want him back and all that, because he has no identity, so he's thinking when you're calling him to try fix things, he's always thinking, oh, maybe this one wants me back. But he was coming there to ejaculate, and now he's running away from his responsibility. He can't handle his own ejaculation. That's why he's running. So do not even judge him. Do not create an opinion of him, because you already are on your way to getting your identity and you're fixing yourself. Focus on that. Now remember this: you don't need him to be there to raise this child, because this child was born from sin. Because before this child was born, you people were supposed to be married and committed to each other. So this child was born out of sin. So what do you need to do? You need to fix your identity, which you're doing already. So the only thing you need to do is, one, let him go. Let the guy go. I mean, just let him go. Don't focus on him. Focus on you. Focus on rebuilding a perfect relationship between you and your daughter. Do not block your daughter from anything that happens, that comes in between him and her and the father, because that will actually be imposing identity in you. But the better part of this story is you go to your identity, because you wouldn't know how to raise this child without an identity, because you'll simply remold the child in your own image. But now that you overcame your mother, it is a good step in the future. So what you need to do is to stay present. What do I mean by saying you stay present? One, anything that has happened to you from yesterday back is none of your business, and you're not responsible. You had harbored an evil spirit that was brought to you by your mother, and that spirit controlled you and led you into doing what you did. So it controlled you into doing what you did. So therefore, you are not responsible for anything, whether good or bad. You're not responsible. So drop the past because you don't have it. Get it out of your imagination by doubting every single thought in your head. And now stay present and stay conscious. Most people are not conscious about life. Most people are just living unconsciously. So stay conscious about life, live in the present, because you don't have a future, you don't have yesterday. As you live today, stick in prayer. Do you pray?
I do.
Do you pray from your mind or from your heart?
From my heart.
How do you know?
I meditate.
Okay. So you make a silent prayer.
And, yes.
Good. So the easiest way to pray is actually to just close your eyes and pay attention to your thoughts. Don't act upon the thoughts, just pay attention. Let all the good thoughts and the bad thoughts flow into your head. Do not interrupt any, do not intercept any. Just pay attention, but do not act upon those thoughts. That's the best prayer. Do that every morning, do that every evening, and guess what? God is going to get that burden off you. And at this moment in time, realize that when you're trying to get an identity is when the devil wakes up. This is the time you'll get more anger. So you need to be able to see the anger coming. So you need to be very conscious about life. That's why I'm telling you to live in the present. You need to be able to see this anger coming, this evil nature coming. Once you see it, it becomes easy for you to discern it. And that's why you need to stick in prayer. For example, if you're trying to talk to somebody and you know very well that this one is going to trigger my emotions, you take about 10 seconds before you respond. You realize after those 10 seconds, you can even count it in your head. Like I'm talking to you and you're counting 1, 2, 3. By the time you get to 10, you realize your response is not as important. You get that? Your response is not as important. So you'll not need to respond to any of that. And when you do that, when you take that break from responding to people, they feel guilty about what they're saying, because the devil tells them, oh, what, make her respond. When they realize you're not responding, the devil comes in and tells him, why did you do that? So he feels guilty on himself. So you do that. You just take 10 seconds to respond to anything and then stick in prayer. And then stay present, because you don't have a future, you don't have a past. Keep doing what you're doing. Are you working?
I am.
Yeah. So rely on the spirit that lives in you to guide you on how to raise your daughter. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that simple. Stay away from thinking that the man has to come in to make the relationship between you and your daughter complete or all that. He has failed to come and step up. So what do? You simply find an identity, and that identity will guide you on how to love and lead your child into the right direction.
Yeah, that point of, I think first before I respond,
Yeah.
it has really been happening to me because when you look at maybe that season when I was calling him or chatting him, and then he takes time before he responds, and then when he responds, he doesn't really respond what I would really want him to respond. Now that one triggers my anger because when I ask you a question like, hey, can we meet and have this kind of a conversation? And then you start telling me something else about 10 years ago. Of course, you are triggering my emotions because from the word God have told you, personally, it's not about me, it's about the kid.
Okay.
So you will realize most of the time I type very fast, like,
I know.
I realize what I'm doing, I delete everything and I'm like, it is well.
You know what? That's the devil trying to control you through your own thoughts. So the faster you're typing, the better the devil feels. He's actually telling you, send it, make him feel bad. Look at it this way. Who has control over your emotions?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who has control over your emotions?
I think it's me.
Exactly. So therefore, there's nothing from outside that is going to trigger you. He did not trigger you. It is your expectations of him that triggered you. So he gave you a chance to exercise your anger because inside you had this anger. So he actually gave you a chance to exercise your anger. Therefore, you don't focus on what is going on outside you because your real world is not outside of you. Your real world is inside you. Therefore, if you focus on people, thinking that people are getting you upset, things are getting you upset, those things are not getting you upset because they don't control your emotions. It's you who has control over. And that's why I'm giving you 10 seconds to respond to things because once you take those 10 seconds, one, you'll not expect anything from anybody. And number two, if you want to respond, that response will not be valid or needed. So that's how you start handling anger. And then you start doubting every single thought in your head because you see the devil controls you through your own imaginations and your own thoughts. So the moment he fails to respond the way you want, the devil is busy controlling you and telling you, hey, make him feel like he's supposed to respond this way. But remember, he's an individual who is just trying to live his life. And maybe for him, he has his identity already. He has already forgiven his mother and his father, and he's leading his life very perfectly with perfect peace. And now you here, you're busy trying to type to make him feel bad about himself, and he's living a comfortable life. So it's you who is burning in your own hell. That means you must overcome what is happening inside you. Once you overcome that, you have perfect peace. So you will not even need to text him. You will not need to converse with him because you are adequate inside you. You get that?
Yes.
Amazing.
Thank you so much,
Amazing. And congratulations for being here. Thank you so much for actually trusting this. And we wish you well. It can only get better.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
Awesome. 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 As you argue, people are fixing their identities. Now, I don't know what happens to mothers. Oh, mothers can actually destroy their children. Now, listen. If you're somebody who is trying to fix your identity and you're wondering, where do I start this from? Just listen to these solutions. Number one, be willing to let go of anything, everything and anything. This is how you fix your identities and how you find your own self. Be willing to let go of anything. You are not a doctor, you're not an engineer, you're not a clinical officer, you're not a quack, you're not nothing. Because you came with nothing. You're not even your thoughts. Because they are placed there by somebody. So be willing to let go everything, including your bank account. Because I know at this moment in time, if somebody just comes and destroys your bank, or if banks shut down, the way there's been a threat that banks are shutting down, most of you are scared. You're transferring money from one bank to another. You're thinking that that money is your identity because you identify with it. Somebody saying so hard to let go. It's true. It is so hard to let go because the journey is narrow. It's not for everybody. That's why most people are suffering out here because of issues with the. So it's not easy to let go everything. You should never identify with anything. If tomorrow I wake up and health and wellness sport is brought down, I should move on. Like, oh, okay. If tomorrow you wake up and both your parents have just died, they've been killed. Oh, it's so sad. All right, what next? Do not be somebody who is attached to things. Oh, my children, love my children. You don't love anything. You're only supposed to love God, and the rest shall be added unto you. So your journey is supposed to just serve God, nothing more, nothing less. So, and you cannot serve God when you these ideas about God, because anytime you have ideas about God, that's when you don't even know God. That's when you detach yourself from God. So be willing to let go of anything. Some of you are stuck in relationships just because you feel lonely, just because you know this guy leaves, I'll feel lonely. This guy gives me very good hugs. If he leaves me, I am dead. You will not die. How many you? This is the 14th one. He left and you did not suffer. You got another one, but you attracted the same guy who has identity issues just like you. So fix yourself. Once you fix you, you will see the bigger picture. So let go of everything on those false identities that, oh, you know, I'm a nurse, you know, I'm a doctor, you know, I'm you. So drop those false identities. Number 2, be willing to die off the nature of evil and resurrect in the nature of good. And how do you do that? Overcome the nature of your mother and overcome the nature of your father. Those are the first false identities that are inside you. First false identities come from our fathers and our mothers, and then schools, and then religion, and then society in forms of morals. I've just told you, nobody has morals. We follow commandments, not morals. So if you're thinking, oh, I was raised with good morals, no, you are just evil. You just quoted with a society name that is called morals. You're either following commandments or you're an evil person. So fall off that identity, and then just die. When you even reconnect with your biological father, that's how you die. That is baptism. You die of the nature of evil and resurrect in the nature of good. You overcome your mother, you overcome your father, and now you're good to go. Number 3, doubt every single thought in your head, because thoughts are evil. At all times, all thoughts in your head are evil. They are not who you are. That's why you can think of your thoughts. They are put there by somebody, and the devil knows that this is your weakness. So he uses those thoughts to actually control you. So doubt every single thought in your head. Take some time before you respond to anything. Once you start doubting thoughts, God takes over. He will make you know that this is actually thoughts that are coming from evil. God does not speak to people. That small voice in your head, you the one that you people are calling conscience, or conscience, whatever. That voice is the voice of the devil. Your real self is here. The spirit is here. The spirituality is here. Your identity is here. That's what you need to connect with. That's why you do a silent prayer. So doubt all those thoughts and do a silent prayer every morning and every evening. Number 4, always pray from your mind and not from your heart and not your mind. A silent prayer from your mind. Anything that you're praying from your mind is praying to your father, the devil. Start praying from your father, God, who is in your heart. The spirit is here. The revelation is here. So do a silent prayer, because a silent prayer reconnects you with God. You're not even in your thoughts. You're just listening to the thoughts, but you're not paying attention as such, and you're not acting upon them. You're paying attention, of course, but you're not acting upon them. So do a silent prayer so that you can actually pray from the heart and not the mind. And the last one, stay present and very conscious about life. Be conscious. Do not be unconscious in life. Most of you, you're doing something, but your mind is all over. Today I put up a video saying that most men, they have sex with one woman and in their head they're ejaculating with another woman. So you are here in body, but your mind is somewhere else. That is you being unconscious. Some of you drive on a traffic jam or drive on the road, but your mind is all over. And that's how you end up getting accidents. So when you're walking to work, focus on that. I'm walking to work or I'm driving to work. When you get to work, I am working. Those are practical and functional thoughts. When you're eating, concentrate on that. When you're doing a walk, concentrate on walking. You're in the gym, exercise, concentrate. When you're fasting, concentrate. I'm reading. Do that activity at that moment in time. Stay conscious and present. You don't have a future, you don't have a past. Those are the two things that people lied to you, and they are all in your imagination. So drop the future that you're thinking, because you don't have it. It's going to give you more pressure that you don't even deserve. Drop the past, because anything that has happened to you in the past, you're not responsible. It is the spirit that lives inside you. So these Christmas holidays, as you go home to connect with your family, make sure you get your identity from your parents. Use these Christmas holidays to actually overcome your mother and overcome your father. Face them and tell them, you know what? I have realized that it's evil of me to resent human beings. And most importantly, me to resent you as my parents. I've been resenting you for no good reason, and I think it's time for me to actually just apologize, and I have to overcome this. So tell them, I have resented you for a long period of time for no good reason, and I apologize. When you say that, their ego goes down and you win. And God sees your battle. God sees your pain. He will get that emotion out of you, that anger of you. He will fill you back with the nature of good and the spirit of good. And then through that spirit, God will reveal things to you. God does not speak to people. His voice is a voiceless voice. You've ever had a key on your finger and then you're busy looking for that key. And then something tells you, oh, look at your finger. And then you look at it, you say, oh, the key is here. Or your phone. That is the voice that God speaks to you through, a voiceless voice. When you get out of the house and you find light, you don't need to be told there's the sun. You simply get a revelation that there is a sun. That's why we have light. So that's how God reveals things to you through your own identity. But these things that we keep on going to, oh, you're spiritual leaders, oh, you're doing this, oh, you're reading the Bible to understand God. You're actually creating an opinion because you're getting in the nature of intellect. Intellect is evil, common sense is godly. When you try to build that idea of who God is, that's when you lost God totally. Good. I hope you've understood that. And I'll take the last call and then we call it a night. One of the last calls, then we call it a night. Especially these senseless prophets, my friend. These guys, they are there for their own selfish interest. They don't know God. They know about Him because they've done theology, and then they know how to manipulate us because they've made us emotional creatures. Because anytime you talk about things that concern God, you can even feel guilty. They make you feel guilty. Yes, this is 𝐃𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐘. 𝐃𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐃, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Now,
How do you know you're fine?
I know I'm fine.
There's a question here that I need to respond to. Just a minute, okay? Somebody's asking me, this is Lin. Are you saying we should not read the Bible? No, I am saying read the Bible not with the intention of creating an opinion. Because when you read the Bible, it makes you go to a place where you are creating an opinion over things. And then you start thinking that you're the righteous one and the rest are evil. That is judgment. That is evil. So I'm saying read the Bible, but you don't need to remember anything. Okay, read the Bible as you're doing that reading of the Bible, concentrate in that moment in time, and then move. It's like having a map. You're going somewhere you don't know, and then you put a Google map, and then you're driving to that place. When you get to that place, do you really need the map again? You don't need it because it has served its purpose. So when you're seated there, you've created time to read the Bible. Sit there, read the Bible, and once you're done with that Bible, you don't need to remember anything because the scripture is not in that book. The scripture is in your heart. That book is just a guide. The scripture is in your heart. And you are born with that scripture. So the more you become of intellect, the more you lose the connection between you and God. Remember, not read to create an opinion. Just read it and move. Yes, 𝐾𝐄𝐍𝐓𝐈𝐓𝐘.
Okay, so my story, in shorten,
Yes.
I was raised by both parents, but my mom was the toxic one.
How would you know?
Because she was always against me. Hakuna kitu yote niliwahi fanya right.
How was she against you?
Everything angesaid na kila mtu but mimi.
Okay, but how would you know that she's now toxic? Didn't you just create an opinion about it and you judged her?
No. She was never there for me growing up.
Okay.
Nilikuwa kama nikifunga shule, it was either ameni transport to somewhere else with grandma.
Okay.
Ama yeye ndo ametravel.
Yeah.
So I never had that time na my mom. And at some point nikaanza sasa kuwa conscious nashinda what is happening, nikaanza sasa ku miss that relationship with the mom. Nikiona other people wakiwa close with their mom, I started feeling that. Yeah. Especially nilipokuwa adolescence. Hapo kwa adolescent stage. Right now I'm 30 years old. Yeah. And it has been hell. Because at some point nilianza kuwa attracted na I was attracting all the bad guys. Yes, because you're running away from her. Exactly. Because I felt like there's something wrong with me. Yeah. Na pia I'm a highly empathetic person, yeah. Yeah. So that one also ili cause pia na attract all the bad people, yeah. Juu ya kufiliani, I can fix people.
Yeah.
And yet me, I needed to be fixed.
Exactly.
So this year, late last year,
Yeah.
when it was happening,
Mm-hmm.
I had to go back home.
Yeah.
And that was when nilipata tu closure, everything.
Yeah.
Like that was the time nilihitaji my mom, and she was never there for me. Like aliniangalia
Okay.
with my 3 kids, nikaenda somewhere, nikaanza tu nikaishi tu somewhere.
Yeah.
And hiyo ndio ilinipea closure, like maybe it is okay not to force things na yeye. She's who she is. And whatever she is has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Chenye tu ilihapenia, it wasn't my fault. Na
Yeah.
nika move on, and I thank God. Hata nilikuwa nimeshikwa na depression, but I thank God nimerecover.
Yeah.
Little by little nikikubali tu she's who she is.
Yeah.
And I won't become who she is. Nikiendelea kumresent nitakuwa who she is. So nikakubali tu, it's okay.
Yeah.
And right now nimefocus na familia yangu, and I thank God. Yani nimeendelea sasa kujijua zaidi.
Yeah. And are you married?
Yes, I am married.
Okay. Is your husband the ultimate provider?
Yes.
Do you have anger?
Iko.
Have you forgiven your mother, like you faced her and told her, you know what, I've been resenting you for no good reason and I apologize?
Nilimwambia.
Are you sure? Or you're oh yeah, so it came out of the scent of anger. It did not come from genuineness, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, actually show her that she has been the worst mother and all that, because the nature of evil inside you was actually giving you the ego to think that you're the better person and she was the worst person. So what you need, what you need to do is you need to overcome her, but you don't need to actually show her that she's the bad person. You just make it look this way, that she's in a fallen state and you've seen the light. Okay. So until she sees the light, she cannot behave the way you are behaving. So do not judge her, do not pass an opinion over her. You need just to face her and know, by the time you're facing her, know that she's hailing from a center of evil and there's nothing you can do about that. Okay, so you simply see her, you pity her because she's in her, suffering in her own hell, and you cannot help her, but you yourself. So you go there and tell her, you know, mom, of all the things that have been happening to me all through my childhood to where I am right now, I have realized myself, and I realized I've been resenting you, and I know it's not right to resent you, and therefore I apologize. Don't go and tell her to apologize to you, because she has ego and she's suffering. So go and tell her, of all the things that we've actually gone through as mother and daughter, I realized they made me resent you, and I know that is wrong of me, so I apologize. Now, once you say those words, they are very powerful words. They will break her down. Now, she might tend to play the hard card and come back against you and all that, try to play an emotional card. Do not care about that. Just look at her, stare at her, listen to what she's saying, pay attention, but not act upon her thoughts. Let her burn in her own hell. Once you've said that, God is going to get this burden off you, okay? Once God will take this burden. And where is your father? Did he die, or is he alive?
No, ako alive, alishaoa, and the wife died.
Oh, your father was another weak one. So you need to face your mother, overcome her. once you overcome your father, because your father did not even teach you how to have masculine energy and how to behave around masculine energy. That's how you ended up attracting men. So you need,
by the way, alikuanga too silent.
yeah, he was
Like he wasn't there.
no, he wasn't silent. He was afraid of your mother because he hated his mother. So our fathers hated their mothers and they became afraid of their wives, who are our mothers.
Wow.
You see that? Yeah, so inside them they have hatred for their mothers, and that's why they resent their women, and they can't say anything. They can't even correct women when women are trying to remold their children into their own images. He was supposed to be there to actually guide you and protect you from the emotions and anger that was coming from your mother, but he played silent because he was afraid of your mother. So you need to overcome your mother. Once you overcome your mother, you go and face that weak father. You overcome him. But do not go with that ego thinking that he was a weak man. No, you simply go to him and see he's in nature of evil, he's in a fallen state. You face him and you tell him, you know what, father? The moments that I thought that you will be there to protect me against anger, you did not. But I've been resenting you for that, and I realize it's the wrong thing for me to do that. So I apologize, okay? Where is she? She disappeared. She disappeared. Anyway, I hope she gets to watch this on YouTube and she can find it. So please, you're a very honest person. You're showing interest and you're actually making efforts to change your life for the better. So go and overcome your mother and go and overcome your father for him being weak, not to protect you against your mother. And once that happens, you'll have your identity. You'll know how to behave around your man. You'll also know how to raise your children in a way that God wants. That will be an amazing story. So, ladies and gentlemen, there are two questions that I'll need to respond to, and then I go, oh, Kingmaker, thank you so much for coming back and you listen to that. I appreciate you and I wish you well, okay? Amazing. So there are two questions that I wanted to respond to. Somebody asked me about Waombezi, these pastors who claim that, you know what, and these are very common in Western, where I come from. Oh, you know what, they can pick your kivuli and all that. So this guy... Imagine somebody waiting for you to walk and just pick sand where your kivuli is, and is now, hey. So anyway, so our Ombezi, those are crazy people. They don't know God. They don't have an idea about God. That's why they're thinking they are super people. They can pray for you. They can predict your future. Just ask them, how do you know about my something that I don't have? You don't even have a future and they are busy predicting the future for you. They are lying to you. Okay, they don't know God. They only know about God, and then they know how to play and manipulate human emotions. That's why they're manipulating you. Chase those people away like dogs in the mosque. Chase them away with fire. Toa ile kuni kwa moto. Chase them away because they are just evil. So they are using their evil nature for their own benefit. Imagine them telling you at umerogwa. How did they know? Yes, they also, because you use a thief to catch a thief. So unless they're the ones who are actually doing this and then using it to manipulate you. So they are creating opinion over human beings because they even believe in uchawi. That's why they're telling you umerogwa. So they believe in this nonsense, in the evil spirits. So overcome them, chase them. It's time for you to just reject them. The question number 2. Somebody asked, if I forgive or I overcome and I get my identity, should I allow these people back in my life now? Listen, forgiving somebody does not mean you're bringing them back. Some of these people hurt you intentionally and they broke you and they messed you up. So forgiving them means you are taking it from them. It doesn't mean you want them back. No, they handed over their identity to you. So you had a false identity and they picked your identity. So you're going to forgive them to overcome them so that you release their false identity and you bring back your own identity. So that's how it happens. So do not expect just because you've forgiven them, they have to come back. And this is the mistake that women make. That you go and get your identity from your ex-boyfriend, and now because your ex-boyfriend thinks that you want him back because you came to apologize, he's now chasing you, and now because you're an emotional creature, you fall for it. That's a trap. Do not allow that trap to fall on you again, because it shall be a mistake. So go and forgive, release them, and just move. And whatever will happen in your life from that moment in time, you will also not be responsible. It shall be the spirit inside you that will be revealing things to you. So follow the revelation of the spirit that lives inside you by actually choosing which spirit lives in you. If you have anger, if you feel lonely, if you're unhappy, if sometimes you feel happy, if you think people owe you something, if you think the government owes you something, if you feel inadequate, if you feel depressed, if you feel all these crazy emotions are the nature of evil, but they come with different titles. Okay, they come with different titles, and nobody can actually fix that for you until you take a chance to overcome the nature of evil, die in the nature of evil, and resurrect in the nature of good. You will not see peace. Keep on fixing yourself, chase internal peace and internal satisfaction, what we call perfect peace. And I hope that I'll see you again on Monday for yet another live on Health and Wellness Spot. On Tuesday, we're having our Testimonial Tuesday, so come in on Tuesday and give us your testimony. The flow shall be yours. I will talk very minimal things. I will let you do the rest. So thank you so much again for supporting Identity Fridays. Go on YouTube and check out the last 3 episodes of Identity Fridays. You love them. Have a good night. And from this side of heaven, we appreciate you. See you on Monday.